Can I help you? Okay. That's fair. Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Today we are talking about Lacura from Aldi, and they recently came out with some new skincare and everyone got all excited because there seemed to be some similarities between Lacura's new line and Glow Recipe. Now, if you know Glow Recipe, they're a more high-end skincare. They're a personal favourite of mine, so I've tried out quite a few of theirs, and I was very interested to see if their items were an actual dupe. So I actually ended up buying all of them. So I have the Lacura Watermelon Gel Moisturiser. It looks like this. You get 50 ml. I got the Lacura Avocado Bright Eyes Overnight Retinol Sleeping Mask. You get 15 ml. And I got the Lacura Pineapple Face Serum. You get 35 ml. So if you want to see a little bit of a bad makeup science, it's bad because I am not a dermatologist. I have absolutely no expertise in this area. This is not my field. I don't know it. I am, however, enthusiastic about skincare, and I do try to take care of my skin as best I can. Hence why I'm coming on with no makeup on to let you have an idea as to how these have actually functioned over the last 2 weeks. So if you are interested in me comparing these to Glow Recipe, including looking at an ingredients list and talking about how I found these, then this is the video for you. Do please keep on watching. So I'm doing a miss and just including a gratuitous CC clip. CC, what do you think of Lacura skincare? Nothing. She has no strong feelings on it. She just wants to get back to sleep. Do you want to say hi? No. That's fair. So we're first going to look at the Lacura Watermelon Gel Moisturiser, and we're going to compare that to the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Sleeping Mask, because that seems to be the one that they're attempting to dupe. So what I'm going to show you now on screen is the ingredients list of the Lacura and of the Glow Recipe. So I wanted to do a sort of an analysis of the ingredients list. So as you can see there, it's all fully transparent. So if you know anything about skincare, you will know that when they put things onto the ingredients list, something that occurs in greater concentration is usually higher up on the list, and something that occurs in lower concentration relative to the other ingredients is down lower on the list. That's essentially the simplest way of looking at these things. So I wanted to see how these necessarily were different to each other. So are they necessarily duping? If we look at Glow Recipe, they have sodium hyaluronate, and so does Lacura. However, Glow Recipe has that as number 2 on their ingredients list, while Lacura has it as number 13. So why is sodium hyaluronate important? Well, it's a type of hyaluronic acid, but because it's less dense than another type of hyaluronic acid, its molecular weight is less. So it actually permeates the top skin barrier, so that's the epidermis, and it goes down onto the under layers of the skin. So essentially it moisturizes your lower layers of skin. So it is also known to apparently moisturize the skin, reduce the appearance of wrinkles, reduce skin inflammation, and heal wounds. I have links down below for all of the information on this relating to each of these ingredients, so feel free to check the description box for all of this to determine where I got this information from. Like I said, not actually a dermatologist, obvi, just enthusiastic about this. When we look at Glow Recipe, they have a Caulerpa lentilifera, and that is like a seaweed extract, but Lacura doesn't. Now, according to research, this particular ingredient has an antioxidative effect, a moisturizing effect, and an anti-inflammation effect. So all kind of quite good skin caring ingredients. Again, Glow Recipe has simethicone, but Lacura doesn't. Now, this isn't actually wildly important. It does occur quite high up on their ingredients list, because I'm essentially looking at the first 10 ingredients, because some of these have a lot of ingredients on them. Now, simethicone is just an anti-foaming agent, so it stops basically the ingredients from binding in a certain way, so it doesn't really have any skincare benefits. So don't worry about Glow Recipe having it, but Lacura not having it. It's not going to be the thing that's going to make or break your skincare. Both of them have a propanediol, but it's lower on Glow Recipe's list. It's actually the 8th item on their list versus the 3rd item on the list for Lacura. This is an emollient, so it's really good for moisturizing. It basically sits on the skin quite nicely and kind of helps to trap the moisture in, essentially. If you're a dermatologist and are watching this, feel free to correct me. You know better than me. So both Glow Recipe and Lacura have glycerin. It's slightly higher on Lacura's list. It's number 2 versus Glow Recipe. It's on number 3. Now, this ingredient helps to hydrate the outer layer of the skin. It also improves skin barrier function and provides protection against skin irritants and helps to accelerate skin wound healing. What's interesting is Glow Recipe talks about them having niacinamide, and actually when you look at the ingredients list, it is pretty high up on the list. But niacinamide isn't in Glow Recipes. Now, niacinamide can serve to decrease the appearance of pores. It won't get rid of them, it'll decrease the appearance of them. It also helps to aid in dealing with redness and blotchiness, and it's also quite good for the treatment of acne. Now, while Glow Recipe doesn't have that, it has glycolic acid and lactic acid. Now, lactic acid is like a less mild version of glycolic acid. So let me explain what glycolic acid is. So glycolic acid is an AHA, so that's an alpha hydroxy acid, and that's essentially used for anti-aging. Now, there's no such thing as anti-aging, it's more stuff that will help minimize the aging process. It also helps with hyperpigmentation, dryness, and acne. So what I think has happened here is Lacura have added in niacinamide because it's a cheaper alternative to lactic acid and glycolic acid. So it's same sort of function, but different ingredient. We also then have a caprylyl methicone in Lacura, but it's not in Glow Recipe. Now, this is an ingredient that is usually found in lip glosses, lipsticks, etc. It is just skin conditioning. Don't worry, it's not something that you should be worried about. It's totally fine for your skin. Lacura has phenoxyethanol, but Glow Recipe doesn't. Now, this just works as a stabilizer, so it's a really good alternative for using parabens. Now, I know everyone, well, not everyone, but quite a few people get really concerned about parabens. So if you are concerned about that, that may be a good alternative. And there is some research that finds that it's helpful against pimples. So I'm linking that all down below. Carbomer is also in Lacura, but it isn't in Glow Recipe. Again, don't worry about this. This is just a thickening agent, so it helps in essentially the appearance of the gel. It has no real skin benefits that we know of. Dimethicone is in Lacura, but not in Glow Recipe. This is a skin protectant and moisturizer. And both of these products have Citralis lanatus, which we would kind of expect because that is watermelon fruit. Now, Glow Recipe lists this much higher. This is as number 6 on their ingredient list, whereas Lacura has it as number 19. This helps to fight irritation, and it hydrates and moisturizes. So basically, just looking at the ingredients list, you can tell they are not duping each other. They have a very clear difference in terms of their ingredients list. But I think that there are some substitutes in there that try to kind of come up with the same sort of a general feeling. Now, I have tried this out for the last 2 weeks. I definitely, like, I can see there's, I can personally see that there's a difference between this and Glow Recipe. This is good. It's very, very good. I think it's very good for the money that you get, but it's definitely not a dupe. I find that the Glow Recipe one is far more moisturizing. This is quite good. I think this is a decent moisturizer if you already have fairly okay skin, like normal skin. This is going to do you quite well. But if you have quite dry skin and you have found Glow Recipe to be really good for you, I don't think this will necessarily get you the same sort of results. But all in all, I actually think this is pretty darn good, particularly when you consider the price point. So the next one that we're looking at is the Lacura Pineapple Face Serum, and we're going to compare that against the Glow Recipe Pineapple C Bright Serum, which, by the way, retails for €53. So this is a 10th essentially of the price. I'm going to put the ingredients list just on the screen now so you can kind of have an idea. So again, I'm just like looking at the ingredients list and seeing where there's differences, where there's similarities. So both of these products have Ananas sativus, and that is essentially pineapple extract. And you can really smell it on the Lacura one. You can smell it on the Glow Recipe one as well. It's very, very pleasant. I really like it. It turns up higher on Glow Recipes list. It's first, but it's 7th on Lacura's list. Now, why is this actually an important ingredient? This both exfoliates and cleanses. So it's really good for dealing with any sort of like dead skin cells. It also offers hydration and moisture. It's also known to be an anti-inflammatory, balances skin and softens and smooths. Both of these products have a butylene glycol, but it's 2nd on Glow Recipes and it's 4th on Lacura's. These add moisture and conditions skin and hair, but it can also work as a solvent. So that basically stops other ingredients from clumping with each other. So again, it seems to be potentially in a higher concentration in Glow Recipes, but I don't know the exact number. Both have propanediol, which we discussed in the watermelon mask. These appear at the same point on the ingredients list, and it's essentially an emollient. Okay, this next ingredient, I'm going to really struggle to say. So I'm just going to flash it on the screen and let's try and say it together. Sodium hydroxypropyl sulfonate lauryl glucoside cross polymer. 10 points to Ravenclaw. I'm not going to try and say that again. So that is in Glow Recipe and it's not in Lacura, presumably because Lacura are like, we don't want to put in stuff that we can't pronounce. This is essentially a cleanser and an emulsifier. Both of these products have 3-O ethyl ascorbic acid. It's 7th on Glow Recipes list, but it's 12th on Lacura's list. This is essentially a form of vitamin C, because vitamin C comes in lots of different forms and ascorbic acid is one of these. This can even skin tone, so it's quite good if you have dark patches. It brightens complexion and aids in wound healing and reduces hyperpigmentation. Aloe barbadensis leaf juice appears on Glow Recipes list, but it isn't on Lacura's. Now, this is just essentially an anti-inflammatory and it really helps with wound healing, and it's also a moisturizer. Okay, this next word is hard, or this next bunch of words is hard for me to get my mouth around. This is caprylic or capric triglyceride, and this appears in Glow Recipe but not in Lacura. This is essentially an emollient, so that works to soften the skin and it's also an antioxidant. Lacura also has sodium citrate, but it isn't in Glow Recipe. This essentially just works as a preservative. So that is part of what is going to keep it having its shelf life. So again, I wouldn't worry about Glow Recipe not having that. Citric acid is in Lacura, but it isn't in Glow Recipe. This is an exfoliant and it evens skin tone and brightens skin. So I'm assuming that this is probably here to try and balance out the fact that other ingredients that serve the same purpose are in lower concentration in Lacura. So they're trying to essentially bring it back, but in doing so in like a cheaper way. So Glow Recipe also has ascorbic acid and lactic acid, and we kind of talked about that before. That's an AHA, but Lacura doesn't have that. So you can kind of see again with this particular product, doesn't dupe. It isn't the exact same thing. It isn't. You look at the ingredients list, it isn't the exact same thing. However, you get a similar-ish result. I think particularly considering the price of this versus the Glow Recipe one, I would sooner go with the Lacura than I would go with the Glow Recipe. It's a beautiful smell. If you don't like fragrances in your skincare, well, Glow Recipe was never going to be for you anyway because they have a scent on them. But this is really, really nice. It definitely, I think, brightens the skin. Like I said, I am showing my skin without anything on it, bar, you know, moisturizers, etc., because I want you guys to get an idea as to what it actually functions as. So for me, I think this is a definite win. Doesn't dupe, but I think it has a similar effect and for a fraction of the price. So the last one we're looking at then is the Lacura Avocado Bright Eyes, and we're obviously going to be comparing this to Glow Recipes Avocado Melt Retinol Eye Sleeping Mask. So again, I'm going to put the ingredients list on the screen, so one for Lacura and one for Glow Recipe. So when we look at the list, they both have aqua and glycerin listed as first and second, but Glow Recipe actually deviates by having propanediol listed as third, while Lacura lists this as sixth. So we've talked about this ingredient before. It's essentially a moisturiser, it's an emollient. Then we have glyceryl stearate, and it appears on both. It's fourth on Glow Recipes list, but it's 14th on Lacura. This apparently improves the texture of the product, but it also serves as a hydrating ingredient, and it also protects the skin barrier. So it's a sort of a 3-for-1. Ceteriol alcohol appears on both. It's 5th on Glow Recipes and 12th on Lacura. This just essentially works to soften the skin. And Persicratissima, which is avocado oil, it appears on both Glow Recipes and Lacura's list, but it actually appears on Glow Recipes as being the 4th ingredient, but on Lacura's it's the 6th ingredient. Now this is actually an occlusive agent. So an occlusive agent is basically, the easiest way to explain it is, it's something that sits on the skin and stops moisture from getting out. So really popular occlusive agents would be things like Vaseline. You know, people have been using that for years. And this is what this avocado oil is essentially functioning in this particular formula as. We have C912 alkane. Now that is only present in Glow Recipes. It isn't present in Lacura's. This just operates as a solvent. So no major skincare effects. So again, don't worry about your Lacura not having that. It seems to be totally fine to not have it. Sodium lauryl glutamate is only present on Glow Recipes list, and this is a mild amino acid surfactant. It's suitable for sensitive or baby skin. So this kind of makes sense because this is meant to be for your eyes. This is very sensitive skin area, so it makes sense that it's available or it's present in Glow Recipes one. It isn't there in Lacura's, which I find quite interesting. So if you are prone to sensitive skin, it may be an idea to maybe stick with the Glow Recipe rather than Lacura. Now, I personally don't have very sensitive skin, so I didn't find any issue with it. We then have stearic acid. That is only present on Glow Recipes, and it isn't on Lacura's. This is an emollient, and it also softens and smooths skin, and it's also a surfactant. So a surfactant basically just makes your skin more smooth. There's less of a kind of a grip, almost like it's more slippy slidey, you know, because one day we want to have our faces work as a slip and slide. It's very weird. It's an odd image, I think. We then have sorbitan stearate. That is only present in Lacura's. Now this just serves to thicken and stabilize the product. So again, I wouldn't worry about that. I would say that that is an alternative to maybe the C912 alkane that is in Glow Recipe. We then have C15, C19 alkane. That's only present in Lacura. So again, that is just a solvent. I think that is just them swapping things out, potentially, that are cheaper, allegedly. Again, this is just opinion. This is not fact. I am not an expert on this. This is bad makeup science. I'm going to try to pronounce this and I will probably butcher it. So again, flashing the word on the screen. This is Beauty Rospermum Parkeye, or shea butter. Should have just called it shea butter. And this appears on both, but it's higher on Lacura's list. It's actually number 7 compared to number 29 on Glow Recipes list. This is a moisturiser and an emollient, but it also has antioxidants. We then have Myristil Lactate. This is only on Lacura's, and this is emollient and skin conditioning. We then have Ethylexyl Stearate. That is again only on Lacura's, and this is an emollient, which again prevents water loss, and it is skin softening. We then have Kaolin, which is only on Lacura's. This is essentially a cleanser and an antibacterial, and it's anti-inflammatory. We've seen a lot of these kaolin sort of masks coming into vogue lately, so it's interesting that it's made its way into this little mask. So again, with the Lacura versus the Glow Recipe, not exact dupes, not when you look at the ingredients list, but I think they've been quite clever in terms of swapping things out to get a similar effect. I would personally prefer the Glow Recipe myself. But I think this is a pretty darn good substitute. Again, like I said, because it has ingredients in Glow Recipe that is for sensitive skin, you may be better off getting the Glow Recipe if you know that you are prone to any sort of issues around that. Obviously, both products are not suitable if you have an avocado intolerance or allergy. That is not going to be good for you. Both of these products had retinol, but it was pretty low down on the list. Now, that's not a bad thing. You wouldn't expect retinol to be a very high ingredient, even if it is a retinol product, because that would be really on the skin. Like your skin would just react straight away. So you would expect, even in a retinol product, for these things to be quite low down on the list. But that's it. That was a bad makeup science, or bad skincare science. I kind of enjoyed that. I got my bit of nerd on, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you find that interesting? Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you can see more of whatever it is that I do here. I don't know. It's all very confusing. Do please share, because sharing is caring. Unless, of course, it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. Like, we don't need more illnesses and stuff going around. Like, I'm just saying. That's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.